and down. Little words that seem so simple, but as you may have noticed by now, in Irish they're slightly more complicated. Today we're going to break down the different uses of the Irish word for up and down. We'll look at the standard explanations for the different words and also consider a little mentioned fact that you can find if you dig hard, as I have been doing, to figure this out. We have to think in terms of 3 pairs of words, okay? The first pair, simple because it's about being located in a place, are thuas, up, and hís, down. They're used when you're talking about something static, when something's not moving up or down, but simply is located there. For example, tá sí thuas staire, she's upstairs. Tá sí hís staire, she's downstairs. You can also say these with an staire in there, which may even be more common, up the stairs. Staying in one place. It's when the people or things referred to start moving up or down that it gets a bit trickier. So let's move quickly to the second pair, suas and síos. These are used when up or down is about moving up or down, though they're also used in other contexts, but today we'll just focus on movement up or down. Tá sé adul suas, he's going up. Tá sé adul síos, he's going down. I'm going to make John go up and down a bit till you get the picture. Poor John. Tá sé adul suas, he is going up. Tá sé adul síos, he is going down. I'm standing at the top of the drive and he's walking down toward the house. Tá sé adul síos. Tá sé adul síos. Thanks, John. You'll notice that I used suas and síos with adul, going, because they are the words for up and down that contain the idea that someone is going up or down. So relative to the person speaking, they're moving away from us. If you are the person saying it, they're moving away from you. That's how most books and websites explain it. Gaeilge from Learning Irish tells us, with a different dialect word for going, that it depends on the position of the speaker, and leads us to the third option. The third pair are anuas and anuas. And this is where you might start to think, okay, it's more tangled than I realised. Don't be fooled by the sound of the words, because they're kind of the opposite sound. Anuas means down and anuas means up. So it's not at first what you intuitively might think by the ear. It's when you're referring to someone coming down towards you or coming up towards you. So most resources will explain it as, again, relative to the speaker. If I say, Tá sé a teacht anuas, he is coming down, it means he's coming down toward me. Likewise in reverse, if I say, Tá sé a teacht anuas, he's coming up, there's the sense that he's coming up from down toward me, who am higher up. He's very patient and hasn't got tired of it yet. But there's actually an extra subtlety here that's not always mentioned on websites or in textbooks, and that is that it's not always necessarily referring to the location of the person speaking. You could be speaking about 2 other people, and the up and down could be between them. And I suspect that this is what Wiktionary is talking about under its entries for anuas and anuas. And I'll quote, anuas implies downward movement towards the speaker, and then in brackets it says, or some contextually relevant reference point. It contrasts with síos, which implies downward movement away from the speaker, brackets, or reference point. I did start to suspect there was more nuance involved than just the position of the speaker when I came across this on the site lexiconista.com that says, I have used the labels here and there to indicate perspective. These terms do not necessarily refer to the position of the speaker. If I am describing motion from someone else's perspective, such as when recounting how my grandmother got scared as she heard somebody coming up the stairs, then the labels here and there will be in relation to my grandmother's position, not mine. So you can see it's a little bit more complicated than just saying what is the position relative to the person speaking the sentence. And in fact, in a book like Buntús Cainte, the third part, you can find some examples of this where in lesson 146, We have a sentence like in English, tell her her mother will come down to her. Aberlé go chuka amorhej anuas hooky. Tell her her mother will come down to her. And you can see it uses anuas. And there are other similar examples. Honig a hahirsh anuas and steire hooky. Her father came down the stairs to her. So it's not down relative to the person speaking the sentence. It's relative to the other person referred to in the sentence. When we're learning a language, it's very tempting when you get to the knotty bits, the tangled bits, to kind of push past them and take the simplest explanation. And sometimes we have to do that just to be able to speak or write. But it's always good to go back to them and dig a bit deeper or untangle the knot as far as you can. And you may have to use several resources to do that. I drew on a very clear table in O'Sheill's Learning Irish, on Buntús Cainte and on many other sources. To that end, I hope this video has been useful. It's really just a record of my own process of trying to understand what's going on with these 6 different ways of referring to up and down. If I've found these confusing, maybe you have too. If you've liked it, please hit the like button and think about subscribing for more discussions like this. I hope in the meanwhile to see you in some of my other videos.